I just had that familiar, just for a second, I was like, oh yeah, we're at the World Cup. England have got knocked out. It's that feeling you've had so many times before, and the what ifs and the could have beens. And really, for that match last night, on this occasion, it went down to Harry Kane's penalty miss, and you kind of just got to feel for the guy, really. I mean, we had Ronaldo in tears at the end of the game yesterday after Portugal were knocked out by Morocco, who will now go on to face France in that other semi-final. And then you had Harry Kane at the end in tears as well. The England players gesturing the other cameras to kind of, look, just give him a little bit of space at the moment, because he's going to need it, quite frankly. And no doubt he'll be going over and over that penalty in his head for the rest of his life, but he will get over it. He could have become England's top scorer. He will become England's top scorer at one point, and this is a very young England side. So the question marks really are around Gareth Southgate's future this morning, and whether, not so much should he commit, I think pretty much everyone's in agreement he should carry on, but whether he will commit. Does he have another 2 years in him? Because that's how long his contract with the FA is. It's meant to run through till just after the next European Championships in 2 years' time in Germany. Will he fulfil those 2 years, though? He said afterwards, he was pushed on it, and he said, I'm going to basically take some time out, as I do after every tournament. Do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to go through this again? And I think pretty much, I know the whole England squad and certainly the FA and most England fans will be hoping that he does.
It's upset not just with the fans but with the team as well, because they really did believe this time they had a chance of going, you know, quite far, that this was a team that was starting to fire on all cylinders and did actually play very well against France.
Yeah, they did play very well against France. I would say the first half England were that England turned up against the USA, where they were a little bit conservative, a bit cagey, not quite so sure about where they were going to put the ball, passing it sideways and backwards. Second half, they grew in authority completely, and that's when Harry Kane scored that penalty, Bukayo Saka getting fouled in the area. You know, England looked much more dangerous, and they controlled most of that second half as well. But in the key moments that matter, France came out on top. Olivier Giroud threatened just a few minutes before he did score that header in the 78th minute, and then in the 83rd minute we had that, you know, that French foul on Mason Mount in the area, VAR, and then Harry Kane's penalty. And I can't believe anyone would have put any money on him missing it. But, you know, Harry Kane is human just like the rest of us. We all make mistakes, and it wasn't to be on this occasion. But this is an England side that, yes, they've reached the quarterfinals, which technically is a worse result than the last World Cup, but they played very well in that game last night. They're a young side, and they actually played better for long periods of that game. And so there's a lot of optimism for the European Championships in Germany in a couple of years' time, and then the USA, Mexico and Canada in 4 years' time. And a lot of this team will be playing in that tournament because they are so young.
Away from the actual football analysis, what's it like there for the fans? I mean, I can't see any England fans behind you. Are they all staying in bed? Was it desperately sad last night to be amongst them?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, the match finished around midnight at the Al Bayt Stadium, which is a good 45 minutes north of Doha. By the time you've managed to get a taxi or get on the metro and get away from the stadium and come back into Doha or get to your accommodation, it would have been about 1:32 in the morning. So still very, very early, especially if you did manage to have a few drinks before the game yesterday at one of the hotel bars or fan zones around Doha. So it's still early, frankly, here, and it would have been a very late one for the England fans last night. But we've seen a couple around this morning. We asked them how they're feeling, and they just kind of stared at the floor for about 30 seconds and didn't say anything, and then kind of said, "What can you say?" And I think that kind of sums up how a lot of England fans are feeling this morning.